Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love featuring artists you should know about. And today, we're heading to Indiana to chat with award-winning singer-songwriter Breanna Faith. Breanna's been playing music her whole life. She started performing when she was 12. Her latest single, Flashbacks, is out now, and she just announced a brand new holiday song that's coming out this week. We're excited to have Breanna Faith on the show. First, Breanna, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Wow, you were always busy. You just played a show Saturday night at the Country Heritage Winery in Nashville, Indiana. How did it go?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Brown County is such a beautiful area, that Nashville part, and it's gorgeous in the fall, and it's a great touristy attraction, especially the winery, because who doesn't love a good glass of wine? And so there were several tables that I got to play for and interact with. And it's so nice because you get, in Indiana especially, you get a really good mix of people who like country music, who like classic rock, who like pop. And that was one of those venues where I could mix up my set list a whole bunch and appeal to different crowds and audience members. And we had a table dancing, getting up and grooving, making requests. It was just a really fun night overall. Made some friends, had some good laughs. You know, I had a great time.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I've heard you talk about it before, but how much is it to read the room when you're playing live, when it's all by yourself? You mentioned play some classic rock. How much do you mix it up? Do you read the room? Do you see where you're at? How does it work?
Absolutely. I for every show, I announce my name, what I'm going to be doing for the night, and what I play. And so I kind of usually open with country, since that's my primary genre. I'll either start with a modern country song or just a really popular country song. And then mix it and maybe go to some classic country to see how many, people would know Loretta Lynn or Johnny Cash or something of that era. And then if I notice that they're not singing along or they're just not really vibing with it, I'll switch to classic rock, maybe try out some Elton John or Bon Jovi or whatever we're feeling there. And if not, then I'll even switch to pop and do some Train or Taylor Swift and then that point, if nobody's feeling it, I just kind of do my own thing and pick the songs that I originally planned. So you get some of those moments too, where it's kind of more difficult, but you do what you got to do and you do it well. So.
Oh yeah, you're a huge Taylor Swift fan. How has that changed in the last year with her popularity? I mean, does every Taylor Swift song go over well?
So for me, I've always admired her for her songwriting abilities and her performance ethics. I really love the amount of detail, emotion, and storytelling she puts in all of her songs, as well as her performance etiquette, where she comes out and not only speaks to the crowd, but just interacts with them, wants to genuinely get to know them, performs with a purpose. She walks around, she has her dancers, she changes outfits. You can tell when she's performing that she truly loves what she does. And that's, I think, what I admire most about her, as well as her songwriting styles. I can appreciate the music she puts out there for sure.
Well, you started young. Who was Jennifer Malott's mom your voice coach? How do you guys intertwine?
Yeah, I took vocal lessons from her, starting when I was 12, and I think we wrapped up when I was 18 or 19 years old. And she was the one that originally put me out on different fundraising events, state fair contests, little Christmas shows throughout the year. She really got me into this live music scene, I guess, for the first few years of my career.
Yeah. Are you guys still friends?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because how close are you together? I mean, in the town? Are you guys in the same town?
Not exactly. I think we live about 40 minutes away from each other, maybe a little bit more.
So a little bit of ways. You're only 22, Breanna. You already have a career. You're a neurodiagnostic tech at a hospital. How have you done it? I mean, you are definitely a driven young lady.
I am. I can say that 100%. I always... growing up, my dad always said that the key to a happy and successful life is to work hard and put as much work ethic as you can into everything you do, even the simple stuff. And I've definitely taken that and run with it. When I'm determined about something, I go at it and I get it done.
Yeah, you for sure do. Your journey with epilepsy last year, I mean, November, it's fitting, I guess, we have you on right now because November is Epilepsy Awareness Month. Last year, every day of November, you did a part of your story, which was awesome. If you go to our Instagram page, you can check it out. But tell people about your journey with epilepsy because it hasn't slowed you down.
It has not, no. So the epilepsy I had diagnosed when I was around 8 or 9 years old. It did affect my childhood around that time. And then for a short break, around 6 years, I was totally seizure free. The medications were working and my life was back to normal. And then junior year of high school, things got really messy again, where my seizures returned. And they did affect a lot of my school career and my music career. One of them, and this is a little bit personal, but I'm going to share it anyways. Two of them, actually. One of them happened in a music studio during a recording session. Oof. And another one happened during an audition for a dinner theater production during the dance portion. And so both of those times I was scared that people were going to think of me as like the weird performer or, oh, we don't want to work with her because of her condition. And I had to live with that fear for a few months until I was finally ready to share my story rather than kind of dwell in it and be sad about it. I also knew at the time that I had a little bit of a rising platform, and so I could use that to bring awareness. And that's when I wrote the song Fireproof to kind of inspire others who are going through really challenging times or obstacles that are really hard to overcome. I've kind of used that as my anthem as well as ways to inspire others. And around the same exact time is when I was put on medication. And to this day, I have been about almost 5 years seizure free. So I've been very, very lucky, very thankful, pray to God every day. And that's why I do what I do for my hospital stuff as well. A neurodiagnostic tech works specifically with the test EEG that detects seizures and seizure activity. So really all of it kind of stems from the epilepsy part. I was just so fascinated with my brain and how the brain works. And now I get to do what I love in both areas, the brain stuff and the music stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. How awesome is it? How special is it that you can relate with the kids that you're working on at the hospital?
Oh, it's awesome. It's so heartwarming and it's so just genuinely pleasing to know that I can wholeheartedly say, like, it's going to be okay. I've been where you've been. I've had this test done before. It's nothing to be worried about or scared about. And then you also have parents that are also emotionally kind of tied in with it. And I get to say, hey, my parents have been where you are too. We know these times are really hard. And, you know, I joke around that I was the medically expensive child too. You know, you're going to get through it, all this stuff. And then I do also say, you know, you are in the best care possible. Riley Children's Hospital is one of the top hospitals, the top children's hospital in the state. And so, you know, I'm really proud to have my career right there as of now. And working with kids is so great. And you get to see their smiles and how happy they are. And, oh, it's just a great environment.
Yeah, we're chatting with Breanna Faith. Go check her out, BreannaFaith.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. She's on X. Go to Spotify. Listen to all of her singles. Her latest single, Flashbacks, is out now. Well, Thanksgiving, you're playing the night before at Putter's in Shelbyville, Indiana. Are we going to the families for Thanksgiving? What are we doing on Thursday?
Oh, wow. So this is going to sound crazy, but I've got some family friends that live up on the north suburbs of Chicago. And since I play the night before and I work at the hospital the day after, we are doing an entire day trip to the north suburbs of Chicago, leaving super early in the morning and leaving at a reasonable time in the evening. And we're going to do the 3.5-hour drive twice in a day to make that Thanksgiving really special.
Well, you just announced, Breanna, you have a Christmas song. I mean, this isn't your first Christmas song. You have a few Christmas songs that you've done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so Christmas must be special.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was just going to say, this is my first Christmas original that I've got to release. I feel like maybe for songwriters, doing original Christmas songs is a risk because a lot of people like to hear the classics, the All I Want for Christmas Is You, the Little Drummer Boy, Silent Night, Oh Holy Night, those are the classics. And so I'm a little nervous releasing this because it's an original of mine. My goal was to make it silly and fun and cute and something that's not typically my vibe. I went out of my comfort zone just a little bit to see how crowds would react. And as fun as it is, they do get into it. Like, it's fun. It's a song that's really catchy. My dad says it got stuck in his head last night after my show. And I just love it. I love how it turned out. I can totally appreciate Ben Travis and Two Cats Music working on the production for that and having me come down and record that in Nashville, Tennessee. And then a dear friend of mine also made the graphic for it. His name is Jonathan Mullins. Shout out to him as well, because he's a great graphic designer, and I'm glad to have him around as well. So I'm just so excited for my first holiday original to be out there.
Yeah, she's talking about Bring Me a Boyfriend for Christmas. It comes out on Friday. You can go and pre-save it right now. Go check her out, Breanna Faith, Bring Me a Boyfriend for Christmas. Well, you just answered my question, Breanna, because I was going to say, how hard was it? Was it an easy song to write because it is a Christmas original, or was it a hard song to write?
It was. This is so funny, actually. I thought of it. So this is crazy. I actually wrote it in fall of 2021, so it's a little bit older.
Oh.
But I also had strep at the time, so I wasn't going to record it then. Anyways, sidetracked. Anyways, so I just thought of all the things I like in a guy, and then intertwined it with like Santa stereotypes, like, oh, Santa, bring me this present, or I've got one little thing on my list, and kind of intermixing Christmas themes with things I want in a man or traits that I like. And for some reason, it felt kind of easy to me because I like boys and I like Christmas, and it came together.
Yeah, and she knows what she wants. Well, did you have your boyfriend in fall of 2021?
Not then. No.
So what does he think about this song?
He listened to it and said, I don't have curly hair. I was like, this was before your time. I didn't know you yet. If I could rewrite the lyrics, I would. It's kind of already in the works. I'm really sorry. He understood. He laughed about it, and that's why he was so cool about making the graphic design. And it was funny.
Yeah, don't read too much into it. This was before your time. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I try to say.
Well, go and check her out, BreannaFaith.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram. Go to YouTube, check out the rest of her stuff. Her new single, Flashbacks, is out now. This one came out a couple months ago, but you said this was your favorite song you've written to date. Yes,
absolutely. I don't know why. I feel like it's just one of those songs I don't get tired of playing, because some of the older songs that I have, South on 65, Fireproof, I love those songs dearly, almost just as much as Flashbacks. But Flashbacks, I'm just really, really proud of the detail I put into it, the storytelling, the imagery, the melody itself. And it's one of those songs I can still to this day put enough emotion into it that the performance looks very real and natural. And I fell in love with the song as soon as I started writing it. And I still love it.
Yeah. And you mentioned Ben. I imagine you got hooked up with Ben Travis, your producer, through International Singer-Songwriters Association?
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about ISA and your connection, because you've been with them a while, and yeah, they've opened a lot of doors for you.
Oh, absolutely. They've been having their ISSA awards every year. I couldn't attend this year because of a show, but I went last year and got to meet so many new people. I met some great names and faces and connections that I've kept in touch with since then. So ISSA has definitely opened that door for me. And Tammany Dove is just so sweet. She's such a great support for all the artists and all the rising stars. And her support and everybody else comes together as a community. And we all have that support together. And that's what makes it, so enjoyable to know that you have that behind you.
Yeah, it's support instead of competition, which is nice. Where are you sitting at? You said you're in your basement. You look like you're in like a studio or something.
My studio is my basement. You guessed it. These are my soundproof walls, my guitars,
wow,
my brother's drum set. There's some other books and binders of past music and set lists everywhere. Holy cow, I'm about to give everybody motion sickness. But yes, I'm in my music studio that my dad built. Shout out to John Jaffe. Took a lot of hard work, I put the glitter on the wall though. I did that part. So
So do you record your vocals in there and send them to Nashville, or how does it work?
a few times, yeah. So for Ben, I will often record like my demos here and send them that his way and be like, okay, so here's my idea. Here's how the song goes. Here are the chords and the lyrics for it. And we kind of play off of that.
Breanna Faith, music, work, what else do you do? Do we have a hobby that we don't know about with Breanna Faith?
Shopping. I have a really bad shopping problem lately. Online, thrift stores, I was downtown Chicago a few weeks ago, and we walked by this store and I was like, we got to go in. We got to go in. And then I complained that I don't have enough money for Christmas gifts and I wonder where it goes. So anyways, shopping, that's my other hobby. As well as I've really been getting into like the gym lately and working out and running. Oh, and cooking. I was never really huge into cooking, but now that I see like TikTok recipes and Instagram reels and stuff, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could eat healthy and try to do like adult things. It's crazy. So a little bit of everything when I see the time.
Wow. And then if you go to her website, BreannaFaith.com, go to her show. She's playing all over the place. But you're off in January. Are we heading overseas? What are we doing in January?
A little bit. We actually are heading overseas. I'm going on a trip to Spain with my boyfriend and his family.
Oh, wow.
It'll be my first international trip. I'm so excited. I've even, like I said, my shopping problem. I've been buying all new outfits for Spain because I've never been to Europe, and I am literally searching European clothing or outfits or inspiration because I just have no idea. But I'm really excited for that. I'll be there for 10 days, and then once I get back, it's right back to work.
Yeah. Why January?
That's when his family decided to go. So they usually spend a couple months there during their Airbnb. And that was just kind of the time that fit for me because I didn't have any gigs on the books yet.
Okay.
But December is full of Christmas shows.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get that kind of in there.
Yeah. What's the next step for you as a performer? Do we get a band? Do we stay solo performing? What are we doing next?
I would like to get a band. So recently in Shelbyville at Capone's Downtown Speakeasy, I did have my brother play drums for me for a good 3-hour set, which was so much fun because being siblings, we already have that kind of chemistry. And since we already know all the same songs, rehearsing was actually pretty easy. And when we got up there, again, no, this was like the first time we had ever played live together for an audience. So some songs sounded better than others. But it definitely gave me the feel that I love being up there with other musicians, especially when I can, if I also had like a guitarist and a bassist, I could put down my guitar for songs and maybe move around a little bit, use my arms and legs more and just kind of use the stage as much as I can. So a band would definitely be good for me. The other thing is the time. With my work schedule and my show schedule, I would feel more comfortable if my band had rehearsals. And that's what I don't know if I have the time for currently. I think in the near future, I want to. But right now, I should focus on what's going on right now. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. It's coming. She's thinking about it. So we'll see. Keep following her. She's just beginning. Breanna Faith, well, she's been doing it for 10 years, but hey, who knows what the hell's going to happen in the next 10 years. It's going to be busy. Flashbacks is out now. Here it is. Breanna, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much, Jeff.
It's Breanna Faith. It's KIX 96.5.